Shabbat Shalom. Aloha. Today, the moon and the sun are both in Aquarius. And it is the first time I chose not to go live for this activation, but to only share it for those who follow me on YouTube. In fact, I wasn't going to share this activation at all. I was just going to do it privately on my own, because that I will always do. I will never stop doing these activations in my own personal life, in the privacy of my home. But I kept feeling the push to share this with those who want to see it. Now, if I go live on Facebook, like I have for the last 2.5 years, it reaches the eyes of many who don't really wish to see. So I wanted to make sure that if I am going to share this, it's going to be with those who seek it out. So if you're watching this, thank you for wanting to be a part of this channel and for wanting to receive this activation. So it's a new moon in Aquarius. We're at a fresh start, a new beginning, a beginning to a new lunar monthly cycle. Let's see, the Chinese New Year is tomorrow, so there's also that. And it's the new year for other cultures as well. I know I was reading about something this morning, I can't remember what now, but the point is that there's a lot of newness in the air. We're feeling refreshed. We're feeling that new chance. So what are your intentions stepping into this new cycle? That's something you can think about once we're activated. So while I'm shuffling, just go ahead and get into that heart space, the place outside of time and space, that timelessness frequency where we meet as one united consciousness in the darkness of the womb of the universal mind is where I'll meet you here now. And to get there, you have to let go, at least just for now, of the cyclical thoughts that you've been having, you've been thinking, all those things you've been repeating to yourself in your head, however positive or good. Set it down, set it aside just for now so that we can have an empty space, that it might be filled with this wisdom we're asking to come to us. If we're so busy thinking these thoughts, whatever they are, good or bad, we are not in that neutral place that we need to be in order to receive the information. If our being is already occupied with a certain frequency, then we can't be filled with the one that we're wanting to receive. So empty, empty, empty. Meet me in the heart. Shabbat Shalom, by the way. It's Shabbat, which is the ritual for the unification of the worlds within and without, uniting the feminine and the masculine within and without. Okay. Thank you, archetypes, faces of the one, for offering us your wisdom as we step into this new monthly cycle. What is the mission that we've completed and are stepping away from, but using as we move forward, using what we gain from that to move forward and step into the new? What is the current challenge which becomes the bridge to the future? Who is the ally which at first appears as a fear until we transmute it? What's the best way to behave right now? What is the best archetype to embody right now to be able to gracefully move forward through this current challenge, being the most receptive to the ally, the current ally, And what is the archetype to embody right now that will also help us to best carry that which is useful into the future and leave behind that which we no longer need? All right. So, what is the trophy we just gained in this last cycle? The Hermit. And I see this as telling us that we just went through a period of learning more about who we are at our center. We learned how to once and for all accept who we really are when we're alone. That level of authenticity. And we're learning, we learned, and now we're going to walk into the world to test it out. We've learned a little bit about how to express that self properly in a way that is harmonious with others in our environment. We have really learned how to own who we truly are and bring who we are when we're alone into the world in a way that's complementary to those around us, into our environment, not compromising who we are, but remaining who we are out there in the world. Current challenge, another 9. So this was the 9 of the major arcanum, the Hermit. That's what we gained this past cycle. This is the current challenge, another 9. And this is all about making sure that we are not complacent, that we are not just going to accept our reality around us as perfect. Rather, we're going to give it a second look and make sure that everything we're doing, everything we're thinking, everything we're saying is aligned with the manifestation of the reality that we wish to manifest. Seeing that maybe there are parts of our reality that were manifested from an inauthentic part of ourselves that we were embodying up until now. But since we have gone through this cycle of really stepping into our fullest power and our individuality, we're now ready to look around at our environment and say, what on this physical plane is a manifestation as a representation of something of our past, a reflection of who we used to be, but who we realize we no longer are. Perhaps we've manifested something physical in our lives, whether that's a thing or a relationship or something on this material plane. We've manifested it from a space of not being totally ourselves, compromising ourselves, and that was the result. But now it's time to see that since we have become who we really are and stepped into our power, it's time to test that out and manifest a reality from that place. So that when we look around at our material world, at our closest environment, where we live every day, where we work every day, where we play and interact with others every day, it's time to make sure that all of that reflects who we are now. As before, we weren't fully able to bring who we truly were when we're alone into the world. We were compromising parts of ourselves, and that is the reality we see around us. There are things that are reflecting that. So now that we've done the inner work, it's time to shift the outer to reflect that. So it's important not to forget all the work that we've done and start living from the outside in rather than the inside out. So it's like we're stepping out into the world. Okay, cool. I'm feeling really grounded in who I am and I'm ready to be myself. And then we hit a roadblock because we step back into that relationship or start, interacting with a certain situation or maybe using certain things, whether it's like drugs or even something that's like a seemingly harmless and positive hobby, like art, whatever the things are that we're doing on this material plane. We need to make sure that we don't just get sucked back into the material entanglement, that we continue to live from the inside out so that whatever is real will remain and whatever doesn't reflect that will fade away. We don't want to just walk back into our old ways and just be comfortable there and then forget all the work that we've just done. No, we want to stand strong maintaining that new frequency that we're coming into this world with, that empowered frequency, that strong aura, and allow that aura to shine around us so that when we move through our physical environment, that aura transmutes everything before we can even reach it, because our job is to just maintain that frequency and maintain remembrance of who we truly are. And that light will push everything that does not match it out of the way. But when we don't remember and our light dims, our aura is weakened, and we enter into these physical material situations vulnerable. And we become affected by them more than we are affecting it, losing our creative power, losing that confidence in our creative abilities. So it's important to take with us everything that we learned, all that strength that we gained into the future, as this is the current challenge. Bringing that light back into the world so that everything around us is transformed to reflect who we truly are in our highest image. And the current ally, who we've been potentially misperceiving as a fear, is the Four of Pentacles. So we had a 9, the Hermit, a 9 of Pentacles, now we have the Four of Pentacles. And how this, I'm sorry, that's the Six of Pentacles. Now that I'm actually looking at the card, it's the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so we had the Hermit, the 9 of Pentacles, now the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles as the ally and the fear looks like this. Let's start with the fearful side of it. If we're looking at it from a place of fear, it could look like this. I'm worried that I'll never have enough, that I'll never be enough for myself or for anyone. I'm worried that I'll never have enough for myself, and I'll never have enough so that my cup can overflow to others. The fear will show up in ways that reflects that we are not fully confident that we are a part of the balance of life and of nature. There's a divine order back of all things, and we are a part of that. Whether we believe it or not at times, when we're struggling and we forget that, we are still that, even in the times that we forget in our darkest places. It's important to bring that remembrance into the darkest of places so that we can really perform the alchemy, because that's where it really happens, not when things are easy. Our faith is tested the most in the dark, and that's when we really need to show our belief. We can't only believe sometimes. We can't only have a set of standards and morals sometimes. They must apply always. And so the one that's in focus here is the belief that everything is in divine order. We don't only want to believe that when things are going great for us. When we feel like there's a lack of something in our lives on the material plane, whether that's love and relationship or money, those things are a reflection of what we are lacking inside of ourselves. Those things are manifestations of that inner doubt. So the fearful side would tell us, I'm not good enough. I don't have enough. I'll never have enough. I will never be able to provide for myself. I will never be able to provide for others. Why me? Why me? Why does this always happen to me? Poor me. Seems I'm always left out. Seems like I just can't reach a balance in my life. Seems like there's always something wrong. But the ally, the neutralizing thought, is what's more important. When we focus on that, we don't need to focus on where exactly or how exactly this fear is coming up. If we just focus on the opposite, it will take care of perfect balance, and nothing exists outside of this balance. And we have to fill ourselves with this for the magic to really work. Because if we don't allow this to stay with us, if we don't fill ourselves with this knowing that everything is in balance, everything is in order all the time, that's when those thoughts start to slip in. That's why we have to occupy that space within us with this positive thought. Otherwise, the second we let it out and create that space, the fear enters in and starts saying all kinds of things that don't align with the belief that everything is in divine order. We can only be filled with the belief in it or the disbelief in it. We can't be filled with both at the same time. So let us fill ourselves with the ally energy. You're repeating again and again that I know that everything is happening in the perfect timing and everything is coming to me just as I need it, exactly when I need it. And that is the same for everyone, because we're all in this together. So we had a 9, 9, 6. And here is the archetype that wants to be embodied right now to make sure all the other pieces are put together smoothly so that everything can flow optimally. A queen. So we had a 9, a 9, a 6, and a queen. Queen of Wands, fire. The Queen of Wands is the water of fire. She's the heart of the spirit. Wands is fire, spirit. Queens is water, emotions, the heart. So she is the heart of the flame, the heart of the spirit. Her message is all about forget about linear time. Tune into your heart. What does it tell you? Be wise, be open to the advice and the input of others. Sure, but ultimately, do what you know is right for you. Trust in the truth of your own heart. If your heart calls for you to act now, then by all means be spontaneous, because time doesn't matter. You know what the truth is. So go for it when you get that call. Be wise. Listen to your heart. If it says now, then now. If it says wait, then wait. Take counsel from others. The queen shouldn't be so stubborn. She does listen. She is receptive and open. So hear the advice of others, reflect upon it all, and then act on what you know is right. And act with the fullness of your heart. Don't just put one foot in. Jump in all the way. The point is first reaching that truth, though. You have to reach the full truth and then fully dive into it. This is the best way to act right now. Tune into your heart. Know what is right for you. Listen to the advice of others. Talk, reflect, and then the time will come to make a decision. Act on what you know is true. And act wholeheartedly. This is what it looks like. All right, I'm going to reflect on this activation before I do the candle lighting for Shabbat. And like I said, Shabbat is a ritual for the unification of the worlds within and without. It's for uniting the masculine and the feminine inside of yourself and all around you. It's a time of rest, a time of peace, a time of stepping outside of the usual daily routine and really prioritizing oneness, unity, consciousness. Those things that really matter, togetherness, family. In Israel, a lot of people will go out on nature walks. I mean, really all over the world people do this, but in Israel you'll see it's huge. People go out into nature, plant trees, be with family, play music. No one uses electricity. I mean, the more religious people don't even use electricity. It's really outside of the usual routine. It's really a time to stop everything and focus on unity consciousness. that place of balance within. It's a day of rest. It's the Sabbath. And it's for anyone who wants to celebrate, because we all have these parts of ourselves that want to be unified and made whole again. And so we do this every week, Friday night, sundown, to Saturday night, sundown. And then we enter back into the world of duality, and we celebrate that as well. And that's a separate ritual. Right now, it's all about the Sabbath and honoring that. So the candles are lit exactly 18 minutes before sundown. This is really a Kabbalistic ritual, so I encourage you to research more on Kabbalistic Shabbat and what that is. And it's really for anyone who wants to participate. It doesn't matter what religion you grew up believing in, or what religion you're a part of now, or whatever you believe in. The color of your skin doesn't matter. Where you come from doesn't matter. This ritual is for anyone who wants to participate. So go ahead and research Kabbalistic Shabbat, Kabbalah Shabbat, or just Shabbat, and see what rituals stick out to you, or maybe even create your own. I'm going to sit with this, and then I'm going to go ahead and light my candles. I'm wishing you a happy Shabbat. And my prayer is that we enter into a time in space where the Sabbath is every moment, because it is in an alternate reality, and I'm ready to crystallize that one here now on this realm, on this plane. So I'll see you soon. Am I going to do an activation next week? Who knows? But I'm just really glad that I chose to come on and share this activation with you guys, because it's not the same just doing it on my own. So thank you for following my YouTube channel. Thank you for subscribing so you don't miss videos. I've been journaling a lot, and I'm going to be sharing more of that. I used to share a lot more of that, and I'm going to begin again. So stay tuned if you kind of want to get in the mind of an Aquarius and see what's going on in my head and in my heart. Shalom.